Hello investors, welcome to another N1 Finance portfolio update. As you can see here, my account's at $2,983.23. I am down 2.32%. However, it's not as bad as it was in the last few weeks. I know at one point I was almost down 10%, so being down only 2.32%, it's not that bad. I have $9.75 in earned and paid dividends, total market loss of $52.74. However, with those dividends, it offsets the loss to $42.99. However, it's not a true loss unless you sell. But I'm not planning on selling. So that's that right there. As you can see here, my dividend aristocrat pie has actually been performing pretty well at a 3.1%. My growth and value pie has been performing at a negative 6.32%, and my dividend pie is down at 3.87%. My dividend aristocrats, as you can see here, AT&T, I'm down in that position still, almost 10%. Procter & Gamble, I'm up in that position along with McDonald's and Johnson & Johnson. Especially Procter & Gamble and McDonald's have been performing pretty well for me. I'm up over 20% in those positions. Pepsi has been performing pretty well too, along with Kimberly-Clark. Coca-Cola, Walmart, and McCormick have also been performing pretty well. I know for a while Walmart wasn't performing that well for me, but now it is. And then McCormick's actually one of those stocks that surprised me when I added it. For a couple of weeks, I would say has been one of my only green stocks that I had. Even when all my stocks were red, McCormick was at some points like one of my only green stocks. So that's pretty interesting. I'll look more into McCormick. I know it's not a very big position that I own here in my portfolio. It's only a $74 position, but I'll look more into it and see what the future holds for McCormick. I might even up my position in that, or we'll see what happens there. 3M, Emerson Electric, two industrials that have been hit a little hard, especially 3M. However, they have recovered a little bit because I remember I was down more in 3M before. Emerson Electric has kind of stayed there in where it is right now. Hasn't really recovered much. But at 3M, it's actually, I think it's recovering a little bit. I'm only down 3.4%. Also not a very big position in this particular pie. Lowe's, I know they've been closing some stores and stuff like that. I'll be keeping a close eye on Lowe's and see what happens there. Hopefully they won't go the way of Sears or anything like that. But hopefully they're just trying to get rid of those stores that aren't performing as well. And like I said, we'll keep looking more into it and see what happens later on. Colgate, not doing too bad, only down 0.67%. I do have a full share of this stock. Hopefully it'll stay down a little more so I can keep adding more shares of Colgate. And BF and Syntex Corporation still down in those positions also. My growth and value pie, as you can see here, Disney, I'm up in that position 5.5%. And now Facebook and Microsoft are still down, along with Apple. I know Apple's is their last earnings report. I know some investors and some analysts were not happy that they were not going to show any more of their unit sales. Apple is saying that they should focus more on their revenue now, and they're not going to show unit sales anymore. I personally think Apple is still a great company to invest in long term. I'll keep investing into Apple. And then Alibaba and Amazon, I'm still down in those positions. However, with Amazon, I think at one point I was almost down 30%. I think it was like 29% at its lowest that I've been down in that position. It's only 13%, so it has recovered a little bit, at least for me, in the shares that I bought. So yeah, I mean, I'll keep investing in Amazon a little bit. It's not a very big position in my portfolio. I'm very far from getting a full share of Amazon. I only have $85 invested into it. But I'll keep adding those shares. And then also Google, also down almost 10%. And I would say actually Google is a better buy right now than Amazon. It is right now, honestly, at the price that they're selling for. And then Starbucks, I wish I had a bigger position there, but it's only 5% of my portfolio in my growth and value pie. I know their last earnings report brought the stock up a bunch. Hopefully it'll come down a little bit more so I can acquire more shares of it, or more partial shares, I should say. Later in the future, I might consider making it a bigger position in my portfolio, but I would definitely consider making Starbucks a core position of my portfolio here. JD, still not performing that well, but any Chinese stock right now is not performing that well. So right now, I would say is the best time to add those Chinese stocks that you believe in, because I mean China's gonna come out of this eventually. I'm not saying it's not gonna be like by the end of the year or even next year. It might be. It might take a couple years. If you're investing long term, that shouldn't matter to you. You should look at this as a great opportunity. And I know JD has uh, an earnings call next week. So we'll see what happens with that. Tesla, I'm still up in that position. A very small position that I have here. I'm up 38% on that one, but like I said, it's only a $29 position. And then Nike, Netflix, and FedEx, UPS, IBM, and Home Depot, they're all down. Netflix, I'm down a lot, like 20%. Later on, I do want to sell. I do plan on selling my FedEx and UPS and IBM positions. Not right now though, since I am down in those positions and I don't plan on losing money on those right now. But I just want to concentrate more of my money into all these other companies instead. So not that I don't think they're bad companies or anything like that. Like I said, I just want to concentrate more on those other companies. My dividend pie is still all in the red, but it has paid me the most dividends at $6.44. My only green stock is a Real Estate Income Corporation, ticker symbol O. So if you're interested in that stock, in that REIT, go check it out. But invest at your own risk. Let's go over my shares real quick, and I will see here on AT&T. I have a 4.3 shares of AT&T. I might actually get a full share this week, making it 5 shares total. But we'll see what happens later on. JD, I have a 2.1 shares of JD. Coca-Cola, I have a 1.5 shares of Coca-Cola. Procter & Gamble, Microsoft, I have 1.3 shares of those companies, and I have 1.25 shares of Disney. Emerson Electric, I have a full share of Emerson Electric, which I wasn't. It kind of snuck up on me. I wasn't expecting getting a full share of Emerson Electric. All of a sudden, I looked and I had a full share, which that's great. I'm trying to acquire as many shares as possible of all these companies. And then Colgate, I finally have a full share of Colgate. I was very close to getting a full share of Facebook, but I fell short by a very small amount. Definitely next week I'll have a full share of Facebook, and I think I'll have a full share of Pepsi and Johnson & Johnson also. BF Corporation on Starbucks, and even Lowe's and Walmart, I might be able to get a full share of those also this week. But if not, definitely the next 2 weeks I'll have a full share of Starbucks, Walmart, Lowe's, and BF Corporation. McDonald's, a little over halfway there along with Alibaba, but these are pricier stocks, so it's taking a little longer to add to those positions. Along with Apple, even though Apple's down, I mean, it's still like a $200 stock, so it's going to take me a while to get a full share of Apple. Maybe by the end of the year, I will have a full share of Apple, but that remains to be seen. And then Nike and 3M and Cintas, I mean, I'm a quarter of the way there with those, but still a little ways to go. And then UPS, IBM, very small positions in those, along with Tesla. Only have a 0.08 shares of Tesla. My smallest positions, Amazon at 0.04. I mean, they are over $1,000. I think they're over $1,600 right now. So it's gonna take me a long time to get a full share of Amazon. Unless I get a huge amount of cash, I don't think I'll be adding any full shares of Amazon anytime soon. During the midterms, I was actually hoping that the stock market would go down, but it just didn't. It actually went up 2 days after the midterms elections here in America. I was a little disappointed since the Democrats did take over the House. I thought that would bring the stock market coming down a little bit more. I guess it didn't, probably because the Democrats did have some disappointing results. Even though they did win several elections, it wasn't quite what they thought it was going to be. So maybe that's why the stock market didn't react as bad or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to get into the politics of it or anything, but we'll see what happens. I mean, we're still in that ditch right now from the all-time highs back in September, even the beginning of October. So I would say right now, in my opinion, it's a good time to buy anything below the all-time highs. Because, long term, I do believe we will surpass that all-time highs later on. But I'm not sure when, so I'm not trying to tell you when that's gonna be. I know some people that I follow do think the market still has more room to correct, and that it will be correcting later on in the future. I know, like Blood Phantom 81 believes so. He's a YouTuber that I watch. But like he said in his last video, if you're investing long term, it really shouldn't matter to you. That's more for like people that invest shorter term or do swing trades and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just gonna keep acquiring those shares of all these stocks. Like I know another YouTuber that I follow. Maybe a lot of people already heard of him. The Independent Investor. He says that you should just worry on acquiring shares of these companies. If you really believe in these companies, if you think they're great companies, just acquire as many shares as possible. When you're first starting, try to build those pillars and don't worry so much about the price whenever you're first starting. I think that's what I'm gonna try to focus on right now. For now, I haven't even been investing for a full year on M1 Finance, so we'll see what happens there. But anyway, that's all I got for today. If you liked the video, just give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like about the video. If there's any investments that you saw in my portfolio that you think I should not be investing in, let me know. If there's any investments that you think I should be looking into, also let me know. I'm open to investing in new companies or looking into new stuff. Anyway, if you like this kind of content, go ahead and subscribe. I try to upload one of these videos every week. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will talk more in the next video.